Hey everyone.
Welcome to our campsite.
We've received a lot of requests since we did the 2-year review on Maggie. People want to know, do we still like what we like? Do we still dislike the things that we didn't like? And how about all those upgrades we did? Have they been worth it? So we figured, seeing how Mags just had a birthday, happy birthday Mags, we figured we'd do a 4-year review and cover all of that. Let's start out front. Now, one of the things that we've always liked about the front of Maggie, the windshield, 120-inch panoramic view. When you're going down the highways and byways of America, nothing but scenery's coming through there. It is the largest windshield in the industry. The only problem with the windshield, and every windshield on an RV, once you get to your campground, you have to put your shades down. Otherwise, people can see in and see what you're doing. We kind of like our privacy, but we like looking out too. So we put on a Magna shade, because this is what you see from the outside.
And this is what we see on the inside.
Yeah, can't say nothing. Let's go to the passenger side now. All right, we're going to try to tell you whether or not we still use some of the items or whether or not some of the items still work. Starting with the integrated cameras and side mirrors. Cheryl used to use this one only. I never used any of them. Neither of us use either of them now. We could do without them. The awning, we love the length of the awning. We hate the fact that most of what shows is white on a full body paint vehicle. It just doesn't look right. It should have been one solid color, in our humble opinion. Let's talk about awning lights though. Ours self-dimmed. We never used them. Every once in a while we turn them on just to see how bad they got, and that's how bad they got. We have 3 left. I always thought an outdoor compartment that had the TV and the radio in it would be a cool thing to have. Last time we turned this TV on was during our PDI 4 years ago. We have never used the TV. The radio we used to use all the time, but we were constantly checking the volume if the fire pit was far away from Maggie, so that we'd make sure we weren't bothering our neighbors. Yeah, if we're ever your neighbors, don't worry, we will never bother you with sound. So, but we ended up getting a Bluetooth speaker that we keep on the table between the 2 chairs next to the fire. We don't bother anybody now. Moving on. This is a vent for our refrigerator. We have the Norcold refrigerator, runs on gas and electric. Well, either or. We do have the bug screens in to prevent the mud daubers from getting in.
Hasn't given us a problem at all?
No, we do enjoy it. This here, if you've ever heard any video where we mention the words on-demand hot water heater, they're usually followed by, we hate our on-demand hot water heater. But I have to say, for the whole year that we've been on the road practically, it has not failed us yet. We just don't like it. Especially because we're using gas. When we have full hookups, we could be using electricity. Propane, well, it costs money.
We'll get to that.
Speaking of, our furnace. Our furnace did let us down. It was last year when we needed it most. Went down into 19 degrees. Did not work. We did a lot of research. We ended up opening it, finding out what the problem was. The circuit board was shorted out because it got wet. And then we found out that Dometic and Atwood know that that's a known problem. So when we called them to bring it to their attention, oh, well, you're out of warranty, so we're not covering that. But it was a known problem. You think it should have been a recall. It wasn't. It is what it is. Cheryl and I bought the parts. Cheryl figured out a way to stop the leak, and we haven't had a problem with it since. Moving on. Speaking of all our gas stuff over there, that is our propane tank. What we don't like about the propane tank is it's too small. It's 16.5 gallons. That's it. Now we have a stove, hot water heater, refrigerator, and furnace. All have to use the propane, and it just is too small. Now we found out Jayco is increasing the size on some models to a 22.5. I wouldn't mind a 22.5. At least though, we did add the Camco extender stay, so if for some reason we do run out of propane, we just have to get one of the gas grill, 20 pounds or whatever they are. Yep. And we can continue to camp without moving Mags. Love our map. Love, love, love that we bought this map. The thing that's disappointing though, we got to here and then lockdown. We were stuck there for 7 weeks. We were supposed to come back through here so we could get a whole lot more states. But because the lockdown and we were trying to get to the East Coast as fast as possible, we followed the path that we already went so that we could stay in 1,000 trails. So,
it is what it is.
Yep. This slide, we did have trouble with it. It would go into about here and then stop. So we resynced it, went right in. Next time it happened, we resynced it, still went into there. So I told Cheryl, open it up again, and as she was closing it, I got in the middle and applied even pressure on both sides, and I just helped it in, and it went right in. So it wasn't much of a problem. We got to the campground, put the slide back out. What we did is we washed and we waxed the whole side. We treated the wipe seals, and underneath, we made sure that we lubed the rollers. Roller here, and each corner has a roller in it too.
Right there.
Moving around to the back, there's only 2 things that are worth mentioning. Number 1 is the rear view camera. If you back up by yourself, It's a good thing to have, or if you back up with someone and you watch them in a rear view camera, great. Cheryl and I use the side mirror. She stays on the driver's side and has never steered me wrong since 2005. The only thing that we ever use it for is occasionally we'll check on the Jeep, make sure it's still back there. The other great thing about the back is a ladder. A lot of manufacturers are no longer putting them on the rigs. We used a ladder to go up there. We clean the roof. We also go up and check to make sure that everything is correct up there. And as far as ceiling up there goes, we turn a bond everything. We learned our lesson with our Class C. All right, let's move on to the side now. Just check out all that storage. Maggie is a storage hound. Starting with the first one. This is the first compartment. This is where the shoreline goes. I don't like it. I really wish it was on a reel. But other than that, the only way to get this in and recoil it is you gotta pull it all the way back out and then reel it back in. So, and the same to put it out. You gotta pull it all out and then fish it back through this hole right here. I've done it so much that the piece actually broke.
It's time consuming.
Now, as far as pass-throughs go, hey, anyone want a beer while I'm giving you the tour? It goes all the way through to the other side. We are able to carry there's a 6-foot ladder. We will probably trade it out for our 8-foot ladder because it will get me up to the top of the slides without fear of falling off. But look at all the room. We haven't even filled it yet.
Nope.
We've been on the road a year next month, and we still have open spaces. One thing that was cool when we went to Jayco Maintenance, I asked because this thing looked like garbage, and everyone I've seen looks like garbage, so they had them paint it for us, gloss black. I think it's the only RV that has one that's been painted. Right here's the hose for our emaciator.
Macerator.
Poop grinder. And the thing is, because it's under suction, look at this thing sticks way out of the ground. It still gets it in there without me having to walk along the whole time doing this. So, I do love my poop grinder.
You can pump uphill.
Yep.
And still empty your tanks.
This is where our valves are.
And where the macerator lives.
Yep, it's in the back there. I love a water bay. Everything is nice and convenient. All the valves and everything are in here. The only thing I don't like is the black wash was directly below the freshwater input. So when I had just a hose here, and you gotta keep it pushed in to get through this hole, when you go to move it, to hook the hose in, this thing would start leaking. These are only cheap plastic. So what I ended up doing was getting a 90-degree angle. Now that keeps that over here, so I have a direct line, but it's still kind of a pain getting the hose to screw on there. This should have been over here. It would have made life a lot easier. But other than that, I do love a water bay. We saved the main slide for last because during our first 2 years of our relationship with Maggie, that was a royal pain. All it did was leak. We took it to dealers, they couldn't fix it. We took it to Jayco, they couldn't stop it from leaking. So Cheryl and I took it upon ourselves. We found a solution, and we're happy to say it no longer leaks. All could have been avoided if Jayco had not put the gutters on upside down. Yes, those gutters are upside down. My question is, how often does it rain up? It's just, that's ridiculous. All right, let's go inside.
Let's start with the cockpit.
Yeah, we made our own cockpit table because when we bought this, Jayco wasn't including them. And then our friends Rich and Yvette, when they got rid of their dinette and gave it to us, they gave us their top too. So we have 2 tops here.
Pretty cool.
Yes, it is. But it's in the way to talk about the dash. One of the first things we liked about Maggie when we came through the door and sat in the driver's seat is the way that the dash and the cockpit seem to want to just hug the driver. I mean, everything is within reach. Jayco did an awesome, awesome job designing their dash. Except for one thing. We'll get to that in a minute. The dash itself has nice flat spots, so I can put my TPMS. I can have my GPS right where I can see it.
And I can have my plants.
Yep, just not while we're driving, because I'm not cleaning up soil from the dash again. Those of you who saw our 2-year review on Maggie know that she came with her own GPS. You also know that we don't like it. It would be right here. It's inaccurate, and that is a lousy, unsafe location to put a GPS as far as I'm concerned, because you really have to turn your head and look down. I wish Jayco had built it up so that it would be right here, or even in this spot right here, somewhere closer, because this GPS I can see with my peripheral vision. Because they didn't do it, that's why we bought that. That's the Garmin 760, lifetime maps, lifetime traffic updates. We're going to have links to all the stuff we added to Maggie down in the description box below. But other than that, that's my only problems with the dash, is that one area. Moving back here though, let's talk about levelers. Love levelers. Makes life so much easier once you get to the campground. Just come in, turn it on, hit auto, boom, you're done. Well, sometimes. This one seems to have a mind of its own when you hit auto. What we ended up doing was we picked up a Level Mate Pro, and we made sure that everything was zeroed out perfectly on it, and then we resynced this so that auto would go to those numbers every single time. Well, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, so we don't even bother anymore. Cheryl gets a kick out of sitting here. She just does manual and uses the Level Mate Pro to get us nice and level. Other than that, the only other issue that we've had over here is with the shade button, because we use it so much now that we're full-time. Sometimes you push the down or the up, doesn't really matter, and nothing happens. It would just beep. So if you push it a few times and then do a combination of something, it ends up working. We figured out that it would be the switch that is not working correctly, so we found out which switch actually goes in there. We purchased one, and we will be replacing it. Scanning along. Oh, that thing on the windshield, that is a Mimo antenna. If you use a MiFi or a Jetpack and you don't have one of those, then you're missing out on increased internet performance for cheap money. So we use it all the time when we stream.
And last but not least, on the dash, we did not do anything with the desk because we never use it, except as a glove box. And over to the living room. You will notice this is not the couch that we had 2 years ago.
No, this would be the reclining love seat with cup holders that Cheryl and I installed, because the couch that was here was the most uncomfortable thing we've ever sat in.
You'll also notice that the floor has been changed. If you watch the 2-year review, Jayco changed it out for us.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, check this out. Cheryl loved it so much.
I love it. It's beautiful. Take shoes off. This is the dining room table. We do not use it as a dining room table.
That's your workstation.
That is my workstation. Also, Brandy's bed. Great. This is where I make all our reservations, make all our doctor's appointments, work on our budget. It is also where we store one of the pack yaks. And then we have the kitchen area. Now, we still do love the counter space, but the TV's right there, and I've splattered the TV quite a few times.
Yes, she has. Also, the other thing with the TV, it's nice that it's on a televator, so that it's out of the way. You can, when you're traveling, you can store it down. But there's this much space to the end, so if stuff starts to pile up here, sometimes it goes down. And the only way to get it back out is we have to remove this, and then Cheryl crawls in there, and she starts fishing while I'm over here with a flashlight going, a little to the left. So...
The other thing is, can you pull that out, babe?
Yep.
This is nice. I don't use it because of the location of it. I wish it was right here, because then I would have a nice little kitchen area with the counter coming out.
And she wouldn't be walking in front of the TV while I'm editing videos.
Funny guy. I'm learning how to use the convection microwave. I still wish we had an oven underneath. But it is what it is. The refrigerator is a double door. You want to open it, sweetie?
Sure.
And show just how much stuff we can get into it.
A lot of people don't realize just how much you can get in here.
Look, a whole box of wine. Priorities. But yeah, we haven't had a problem with it. It's working well. Keeps everything cold.
We finally got real Chinese food again.
Yum.
It's amazing throughout the country how Chinese food is different.
And the freezer, we're still not using the ice maker. But there's plenty of storage for frozen items. Plenty of big boxes up there.
Yep.
I did not do anything with this. I did fit all of my spices, oils, and things like that. I was going to put it in another shelf, but it was not necessary. And the bottom, I didn't add anything either. It just has all my baking stuff. So as we go down the birth canal, you'll notice we have a rug. That is because Brandy sometimes paces at night when she's nervous.
Yeah.
And we can hear the tick, tick, tick of her little nails. But I still love having my washing machine. I can do a wash whenever I want, at any time that I want.
Yep. And we do leave the doors open when the dryer's on.
And the bedroom. Also where one of the pack yaks is stored, in front of Brandy's bed. But we have plenty of storage in here. We still have some empty drawer space. Not completely empty, but, it's not stuffed. And this is still the original mattress. All we did was we bought a mattress topper to go on top of it.
And all that's left is the bathroom. And we get a lot of questions from the dispenser that we installed. How's it holding up? You're still using it. It's been 4 years. It's still on the wall. And yes, we are using it. It's also gone through a full year of full timing. So we like it and it works.
Yep. The only problem we had with the bathroom, and I think you probably all know,
Yeah.
that this toilet is really not meant for full timing.
Can we say it's a piece of crap? No.
But we did rebuild it, and we haven't had a problem since.
Yeah.
So far, anyways.
Yeah, the other problem that we had in the bathroom from day one was the faucet. It would never turn on the hot water heater. There was something just wrong with it. We switched it out. We put in a better faucet. We've had no problems at all with it.
And the wall still has the tiles on it. They're
Yeah,
sticking
backsplash.
without a problem.
For those of you who are still out there watching, thanks for sticking around. Cheryl and I had no intention on the video ever becoming as long as it did. We have 2 more small things we're going to cover, and then we're going to let you go. First one, we forgot to mention when we were outside about Maggie's holding tanks. Her gray tank is actually 10 gallons smaller than her black tank. That's usually the other way around.
Who does that?
Same people who put her gutters on upside down.
And between the hot water heater and the smaller gray tank, boondocking might be a little bit of a challenge.
Oh, come on, we'll get gone with us. We can handle anything.
We'll figure it out.
The other thing is Maggie worthy of being a full-time RVing rig? Well, she's 4 years old. She's been to 26 states so far. And just this last year went from New Hampshire all the way out to California, all the way back through a pandemic. And she's got tons of storage. And overall, she's holding up great. So, yeah.
And we've been very comfortable in her.
Extremely. But because it's taken so long, you ready for it? If you like what you saw, would appreciate that thumbs up as always. You want to become part of the Grow and Get Going with Us gang? Right down there in the corner, just click it and you're in.
And if we forgot any questions and you want the answers, just put them in right down below. Or just say hi.
Because we'll say hi back, we always do. Till our next video, I'm Chuck.
And I'm Cheryl.
We'll get going with us. Bye.
Bye.